Hello, Jase here. How do you get fast sales on your books? In this video, I'm going to show you how I'm doing it and my students are doing it. So let's get started. Okay, one of my students here, Genevieve, I think May she was selling books, and then within June she hit $6,000, $2,000 profit. So within a month. Florian here, his first month was June and he made $500. And not a great example, but still just happened to me yesterday. I published a book like 2 days ago, put ads on it that day, and the next day got one click, one sell. Very, very quick sales. So how do we do it? Firstly, let me just tell you, this is only possible when you're in what I call a gold mine niche, where there's a lot of money. So there's a lot of KDP, self-publishers, people that tell you to go where there's low competition. To me, that makes no sense. If you want to make money, you go where the money is. You just get better at extracting the money, i.e. you get better at creating books that sell. So that's the system that I use. That's the system my students use, because it puts everything in your control. How good your book is a learned skill. Anyone can do it. There's nothing special about what my students are doing. None of them are writers. They're not doing any fancy books. They're just getting better at creating books that actually sell. If you want to just jump in, I'll leave my program below, a link to my program. Okay, so you're only going to make money in a good niche. Okay, you're never going to make money in a weak niche. So the amount of money you make is determined before you even start the book, before you do anything, before you open Canva, you open ChatGPT, any of that. The amount of money you make is determined by the niche you pick. So pick wisely. And so once you've got a niche that it's got a lot of money in it, now you have to do what I call, and what my students do, is a niche buster. You got to break into that niche and get the money out. Because if you think this is your niche here, just say this is the invisible wall around your niche, and only the top selling books are in there making money. Right? What most self-publishers do is they give it a go and it bounces straight off this invisible barrier. They can't break into that niche. They can't bust that niche, and they can't do it because they're not focusing on the things that actually sell books. So what actually sells books? What are the things that you need to focus on? Well, for one, the self-publishers that don't make any money in this niche, they're not focusing on a good title. Remember, the title sells the book. Most people are going to buy a book based on the title. Yet most self-publishers do the title as the last thing. They're focused on the interior of the book, and that's another thing. They're focused on the book pages. How many people that are impulse buying on Amazon are even going to see those pages? Barely anyone. Barely anyone. Most of these guys making money in here are doing it by impulse buys. People see the cover title, everything on the that they can see right there and then, and they're buying. So if you're not focusing on the titles and you're focusing too much on the pages, you're going to bounce straight off that niche. You're not going to bust through it and start making money. The last thing is ads. They're not using ads or not using it effectively. Like, the way you get into a niche is by showing your book to as many people as possible that are already buying in that niche. That's the true test of whether your book will actually survive in a niche, right? So you need good ads targeting specifically those people that are buying the books in here. So they see your book and they might accept your book into that niche. Basically give you a route into that niche, okay? So let's talk about how you actually bust through. I've kind of running out of page here. Just say this one breaks through. And I'll just put it over here. So we talk about the title and cover. Now you could do different styles of title. Just say the niche is activity books for girls. You can have an activity and colouring book for girls. You can have an activity and Sudoku book for girls. A change in title, activity book for smart girls, activity book for girls that like riddles, things like that. Different titles, same niche, but you're just packaging your book differently to try and get through this barrier here where most people are failing. It's different titles of covers. The other thing which is super important, which most self-publishers don't even think about, is workflow. One book may not be able to bust into that niche, but if you have a system, is this not updating? 1 second. It's updating now. If you have a system constantly bombarding this one niche from different angles and you're consistently doing it, the chances are one of those books are going to get through. See, this is why it's so important to pick a niche where there's loads of money. Because if you know there's loads of money there, you can invest more time and energy producing different books to try and get into there, because you know the rewards are there, as opposed to low competition niches or where there's no money. And also, if you use ads effectively, you can get into that niche. And that's even with a crappy title and cover. You can get into that niche, make sales in that niche, but will you make any profit? It's unlikely. But you can still bust into that niche because just sheer momentum of spending money on ads. But if you combine that with a good workflow, with a really good title and cover, then you have really good ads to get as many of your books in front of as many of the people that are spending money in the niche. And the chances are, not only will you start making sales fast, like my students do and I did, but those books will stick and keep making sales fast. Okay, so let me just summarize this real quick for you. If you want to make sales fast on KDP, self-publishing, firstly, you pick a niche where there's money. Then you get good at creating books that can extract that money. And also, just think about it like this. There's bestsellers in that niche. They're making a lot of money. It's not just going to come to you. It requires skill, but the skill's in your hands and it's very learnable. There's nothing sophisticated or complicated about it. Anyone can do it. It's just a case of making the decision to do it and then doing it. And that comes in the form of having a really good title and cover, having a workflow so you can keep doing it and get better at it, and then using ads to test those books to the market, because ultimately Amazon decides if your book's going to sell or not. Okay. If you want my whole system that goes into this in more detail, I'll leave a link below. And in terms of finding the right niche, if you want to know how to find what I call a goldmine niche, I'll leave a link to a video right here now, so you can jump straight into that. Thanks for watching. Give me a little like if this was any good, and subscribe. Most of the people viewing my videos haven't subscribed to me yet. It'd be really good if you subscribe. It helps my channel, and I appreciate that. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.